Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Michael got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free of the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this TGI Mickey Vicky Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, coming to you live from San Francisco. I am fired up. Man, just got out. I was down at a little fitness center earlier. Got a little workout in. The lady must have thought I was crazy because, mind you, my body's still on Chicago time. Okay, my body's still on Chicago time. So I woke up here at 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and called the front office, and she was like, "I said, is the fitness center?" I said, "Where's the fitness center? And is it open 24 hours?" She's like, "Yes, I can show you where it is when you come down." I'm like, all right, excellent. Oh, man, but I'm fired up to talk to you, man. We have a great, great show for you. Ooh, gee. Sounds bad, huh? I do not have my headphones. Shish kebab. Does this help any better, Steve-O? Let me know. Okay. Yeah, so we have a great show. I'm fired up. I'm excited to be heading to the Bears game on Sunday and in Santa Clara here in San Francisco, and it's going to be next to San Francisco, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to do that, but also get to talk to you guys today, man. I'm fired up. It's going to be one heck of a show. Let me see what everyone's talking about. Okay, sounds good. All right, cool, guys, good. Jay Grizz back in the house. What's up, Papa? Back by popular demand. Jay Grizz in his house. That's what I'm talking about. Jay Grizz. Man, we got a lot. Man, the chat is jumping. Woo-wee. Man, so listen. As I said, we had a great show. At 9:30, Jason Palmer's going to come on. We're going to talk a little Blackhawks. It's kind of going to spill into all over because if you saw the thumbnail, actually, Steve will put up a new thumbnail, which it was better than I thought. I said, Steve, can you create this thumbnail for me? Blah 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 about Luke Richardson getting, boom, there it is. Steve created all that. I'm like, dude, so that's crazy because if you look at it, literally everyone but Billy Donovan has been fired. Every one of our pro teams. So Steve will put that together. Great shit, Steve. Great stuff. I appreciate it. Listen, so it's weird because you kind of get thrown off once I went off on a tangent. But yeah, anyway. So Jason Palmer's going to come out at 9:30. And then my guy just confirmed, just texted me right now, Herb Howard going to join us at 10, talking Bears. So I'm really, really excited about that. We're going to talk a little Bears. I think Herb will probably be out in San Francisco either today or tomorrow. I know he's going to be covering the Bears out here as well. He travels with the team to cover them. So that's good stuff. Listen, if you're watching this on our Facebook channel, if you're watching this on Facebook, excellent. All right. Glad to hear it. All right. But if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple, but wait. There's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, come on, man. For real, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, come on, man. Don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Listen, get with the program. So wherever you get your app from, you go there. All right, whether it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Weebolts, Woolworths, Venture. It doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. You take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, and not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching us on Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago has our own Roku channel. Do us a favor, download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. You can watch us on the big screen. I put us there next to Netflix, Hulu, Prime, HBO Max, Apple Plus, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Put us there next to the big boys. You can watch us on the big screen. Help run a big screen, right, Mickey now. You can also tweet the show. You tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy now. If you want to follow me, let me tell you what I did for you, folks. Let me tell you what I did. All right, I made it nice and easy for you. All right. Simple. All one handle. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Man, I told you we got a great show. 9:30, Jason Palmer's coming on, talking a little Blackhawks. 10 o'clock, Herb Howard, my man, is coming on. So I'm excited to talk to actually both of them. We got a lot of good conversations. Well, listen. Here's what I need you to do. Whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So keep them coming, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check out the chat, because the chat is jumping big time. Big time. Shorty checking in early. What up? Happy Friday. TGI Mickey Ficky. Friday, Shorty. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Whew, Cornelius Squalls. What up? Sports Zoners. Yes. Mr. Shorty is feeling it. He says, I feel a big win coming Sunday, Cornelius. Aunt Moss checking in. He says, bear down, Shawn. Aunt Moss, thank you, Papa. I appreciate it for tuning in. Oh, yeah. Like I said, Jay Grizz up in his mother Hubbard. Hell yeah. Jay Grizz checking in. Happy Friday to all my friends. What's up, Jay Grizz? That's what I'm talking about. See, they missed you, bro. Aunt Moss says, been a bit, Grizz. Great to see you. That's how we are, man. Hey, Jay, I hear you. He says, hey, I just needed a break from being so emotionally invested in our Bears and all the content. Needed time to enjoy the holiday with my kids. Just take my mind away from sports for a bit. I hear you. So you got to decompress sometimes, bro. Sometimes you got to decompress. So I hear you, Papa. I hear you. Michelle Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. He said, the Mickey Ficky TGIS sports owners. That's what I'm talking about. Yay. Yes. My man, Armando Emeterio, Lara Jr., my man Junior's in the house in San Francisco, dude. He says, I'll make sure to check the Adams apple. Always check the Adams apple. Sorry, I just had to say it. Oh, man. Oh, King Booker World checking in. He says, salute, chat. And Shawn, what's up, King Booker World? Oh my goodness. It's great. Everyone exchanging pleasantries in the chat. And listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. I'm telling you, this has been it's been a really, really cool cool trip so far. How's the weather out there in the Bay Area, SuperBack? Jay Grizz, it's really, really nice. Peep this. So when I got here, first thing I did, because this is actually my first time in San Francisco. So I'm at the airport. All right, I took a picture of this, but this is out of my window. So you got mountains in the background, and then to the left of that, if you see all the way at the top or like between the buildings and the upper and the right, that's the bay. So I'm not too far from the San Francisco Bay. So let me get rid of this. I will tell you this. First of all, holy shnikes. It's all I got to say. First, on my flight in from Phoenix, I had to stop over in Phoenix. So from Phoenix to San Francisco, we had a dude who had a seizure 2 rows in front of me. Dude, it was freaked out. Let me tell you, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, oh, I'd hate to see someone die on this plane and have a dead body for the next 30 minutes because Phoenix to San Fran is only an hour. I was like, I'd hate to see it have a dead body here and for the next 20 minutes. It was freaky. Luckily, there was a doctor on the flight. He assisted the gentleman. The gentleman actually got up and walked off the plane. He got up and walked off the plane. That was the first time he'd ever had a seizure, he said. And when I came off the ramp, they had him on a stretcher, but he was fine and coherent. Dude, that was crazy. When I say crazy, I mean crazy. He was like 2 rows. I was in the middle seat because don't even ask. Southwest open seating, so I wasn't able to get. Jason, I sent it to you. I emailed it to you. I sent that to you. I sent it to. Let's see. Let's see. J. Coyden at Hotmail. I sent it to you. Yeah. So that was nuts. That was crazy. Then the traffic wasn't too bad, but the hills here, bro, peoples, let me tell you. The hill to get up that I had, the final hill to get up here into the hotel, I would use those as training hills for my off-season workouts. The dude had to floor it. My Uber driver had to floor it, like just to get up the hill, and then we got caught at the light. I'm sitting like this in the car on the hill. I'm like, thank God you don't have to drive stick or learn how to drive stick here. Dude, that was crazy. So the temperature is, to make a long story longer, the temperature is about 60 degrees. All right. So it's pretty nice here. I can't complain. It's I can't complain. Okay, Jason, I'll send it to another one. Okay. Yeah, the temperature it's beautiful here, bro. I love it. It's super nice. Man, it's yeah. All right, Jason, I just sent that to you. But I'll give you the weather. It's supposed to be 60s the whole time here. Well, let me double check. Right now it's 47 degrees. It's going to be a high of 63 today. Saturday 60. Sunday game day will be 61. Monday, I'm leaving Monday morning though. It's going to be 62. So low 60s. Definitely going to go hit Chinatown today. Trying to hit the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz tomorrow. And maybe Sunday before the game. Remember they're playing 1 o'clock here. It's 3 o'clock your time, 1 o'clock here. So So I don't know if I'll be able to get to the Golden Gate Bridge, but I definitely want to go walk it. You know, it's a mile long. Dude, that'd be dope. But yeah. But yeah, it is. I like it. It's beautiful, beautiful city. It's really weird. It's like Skid Row at one part, and then boom, it's like the gentrified part as we're driving up to, you're getting to the hotel. So it's a pretty wild setup. Kind of like Chicago when you're, the West Side was at one point was just like Skid Row, and then it changed. Yeah, that's how it is over here. So tons of homeless people, but so far so good. But anyway, listen, guys, you know how we do. Let's get to it. First segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's see, which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? First Top of the Morning topic. Let's do it. The Bulls. Yeah, baby. The Bulls with a big win yesterday. Fired up. Our bullies. Oh, yeah, I don't see that. Fire. The Bulls beat the San Antonio Spurs 139-124 yesterday down in San Antonio. Nikola Vucevic. 39 points, 8 rebounds. Ayo with a triple-double, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 11 helpers. Zach LaVine, almost triple-double, 11 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Dalen Terry, 12 points. And Matas Bucelis, the youngster, the 19-year-old, the rookie, 11 points, 7 rebounds. Listen, I told you, this kid is it. I'm fired up for this young man. This kid gets it. He's got an attitude. He's extremely, extremely talented. He's got he plays with an edge. All right. He's trying to dunk on your head. He doesn't play the soft shit. Doesn't lay it up off the glass. He's dunking on your head. All right. It's coming. It's coming. He ain't playing. It's coming. Now he just got to get some meat on his bones and he'll be in a much, much better situation. But I like this kid. Really, really happy for him. But moving on to the next Top of the Morning topic, the Bulls host the Indiana Pacers tonight at the United Center. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock Central Time. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. The news, the next Top of the Morning topic, the news that rocked the Chicago sports world yesterday. Man, oh, man, oh, man. The Chicago Blackhawks have fired head coach Luke Richardson. Richardson's record was 57, 118, and 15. Right now, they're currently 8, 16, and 2. The Ice Hogs head coach Anders Sorensen was named the interim head coach. So, if you saw the thumbnail, we showed you earlier, all the coaches except for Billy Donovan of our pro sports team have been fired within the last year. Wow. Sticking with the Blackhawks host the Winnipeg Jets at the United Center tomorrow for a matinee affair. Puck drop is at 3 o'clock Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. Keeping it moving. Sad note, the next Top of the Morning topic. Wow, this is terrible. This is unfortunate. Former White Sox slugger, Bill Melton, passed away. All right, radio White Sox broadcaster. Yeah, he's our third baseman. And let me tell you, he died in Phoenix after a brief illness. He had 33 homers in 1970 and 1971 when he led the American League. He made his lone All-Star appearance. At that particular point, no White Sox player had ever hit 30 home runs in a season or led the league prior to that. All right, he had 154 homers with the White Sox from 1968, 75. That was a club record. until Harold Baines broke it in 1987. My man Harold Baines. All right, then don't forget he also was an analyst. All right, became a television analyst on WGN in 1998, and he joined Comcast Sportsnet in 2005. And then he retired in 2020. He was a team ambassador in the early 90s, and actually was a hitting instructor for Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan left the Bulls. So he will be missed. Bill Melton, rest in peace. That's a tough one. The next top of the morning topic is why we're here. Why I'm out here, baby. The Bears. Bears travel to the Bay to face the 49ers on Sunday. Kickoff is 3:25 Central Time. You can catch that game on Fox 32 or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. Just a side note, it will also be Thomas Brown's first game as interim head coach. Looking forward to that. There's a lot of excitement surrounding this. I know he's going to try and play it off and pass and talk about more important things, but this is a very important moment for this franchise. So I'm looking forward to Sunday. I'll be in the stadium, Levi Stadium. I had dinner with my guy last night, and we were just kind of going over the itinerary, what I was going to do while I'm here, and then for Sunday's game as well, because it's early for them. It's 1 o'clock, 1:25. So you guys got to remember, out here, game started at 10. Game started noon at home. It started 10 o'clock out here. So that's going to be dope. He said we're going to leave here around 11, head up, or maybe 10. He wants to tailgate. It's about 40 minutes away in Santa Clara. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Pick up my credential down at Levi Stadium. You guys see me on with my CrossFit Warehouse shirt. There's a CrossFit place. I may do that tomorrow morning. I may stop in and check that out. Mr. Shorty says, I lived in Colorado. I missed the 11 a.m. games. Yeah. That's crazy. James Ford checking in. What's up, Papa? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Cornelius Squall said Vooch was on fire. Yes, he was. And Cornelius also said, I like this version of the Bulls more and more. Me too. Remember, that's why I said I don't know if I want to get rid of Zach LaVine all of a sudden. I don't know if I'm down with the trade Zach LaVine crew right now. So I don't know. I like the way he's playing. Zach is a lot more mature. That's probably the best way to put it. Right? He's married. He's got a couple kids. He's a lot more mature than when he first got to Chicago. And you see him, I see him in a different light. I see him as a lot more calm, relaxed, and just kind of letting the game come to him, realizing he's one of the best catch and shoot 3-point shooters in the league, and he's doing that more. And I like it. All right. He just doesn't seem so he just seems, he seems grounded. He seems to be in a good space. And you talk to Joe Cowley, who covers the Bulls for the Sun-Times. He was in an article yesterday, and he was saying how he's in a good headspace, he says. He's comfortable. Like I said, he's married with kids. All right. He's just grown up. Bottom line. Sometimes that's all that happens. You just have to grow up. All right. And that's what it seems like is the situation with Zach. And I'm really, really happy for him that he's found a good space for himself. All right. And it's carried over into his play on the court, because Zach has been on fire. I like it. I like this version of Zach a lot. I do. So, but anyway, I don't know if you heard the bell, the cable car. I'm telling you, I'm fired up to go on a cable car today. I want to get to Alcatraz tomorrow. I'm going to Chinatown today. And then I want to get to the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm going to walk. It's 2 miles, man. Because once I walk there, I gotta walk back. That's going to be a 2-mile walk. But I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and on Monday, I will have pictures in front of Mrs. Doubtfire's house. And my boys say he lives right around the corner from Mrs. Doubtfire's house. I'm like, excellent. I got to go take a picture in front of it. I told you, there's certain things, certain movies or series or TV shows that are iconic. And there's certain things in them that are iconic. Like I remember I told you when my friends from college came, they wanted to see the Married with Children fountain. I said, no problem. So we drove down Lakeshore Drive to see Buckingham Fountain. Well, like the Shameless house on the west side, people want to see. I want to see Mrs. Doubtfire's house. So I'm definitely going to do that tomorrow and have some pictures for you on Monday. So, but anyway, let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy, Jason Palmer. We're going to talk a little hockey. And what's this thing with Chicago firing all his coaches? As Steve-O said, that's the Chicago way. Listen, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Jason Palmer coming up next right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. Yeah, I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
By Pizza Hut, it's underway. The Bulls win it. And we're ready to go. Glad you could join us here on FanDuel Sports Network. Jacob Toby and the man that guarded Michael Jordan, Shawn Elliott.
Yeah, a few times. I'm not going to tell you the outcome of those.
And there's Zach LaVine, who Jalen Smith is coming for the first time tonight for Chicago. The sumo. The crowd has come alive here inside the Frost Bank Center. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Vucevic spinning. Had to kick it out. Buzelis 3. Oh, a big shot. Spurs were down by as many as 20. Got it within 7. Vucevic and 1. Spurs cut it to single digits a couple times, but it has been tough to stop Nikola Vucevic. 37 points.
Welcome back to Shawn and Mai in the morning in Sports Zone Chicago. This is courtesy of Chicago Sports Network and FanDuel Television. That was nuts up. My man Vooch had to adjust the lighting in the back. The sun is coming through. It was a little nuts up. But anyway, those were the Bullies, baby. The Bullies with a big win yesterday, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Big time win, 139-124 over the San Antonio Spurs down in San Antonio. They said Vooch led the way, 39 points, 8 rebounds. Well, my first guest is good. Man, we know Jason. Jason is a great friend of the program. He's co-host of the What's Up Cuz podcast, and is also a referee. He's been a reporter for 15, 20 years. 52 years. No, 25 years. Like 52, Jay, that's a long time. You've been a reporter for 25 years, covering a lot of sports, a lot of Sky as well. Man, let's give it up, our man, Jason Palmer. Jay, what's up, Papa? How are you?
My man, Shawn. Man, I swear to God, I'm not going to let you travel no more, Shawn. You just take drama with you, man. You came up in Milwaukee and you got in the hotel, somebody died. You get on the airplane, people having medical emergencies. Then you land in San Francisco and they have a tsunami warning yesterday.
Dude, there was an earthquake. There was an earthquake a little way further north from here. I'm like, and I got so many texts like, are you okay? Because they said Northern California, so people knew I was going to San Francisco. They're like, are you okay? I'm like, no, that was even further north than San Francisco. I can't do nothing right, man.
You leave no more. Just stay at home, Shawn. You just
keep your ass in Chicago, fool.
You're causing problems all over the earth now. My God.
Natural disasters. That's
crazy, man. Crazy. Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Actually traveling myself this weekend. Wife traveling with me. We're heading to Cleveland because I got to work. So she gets to kick it. I get to work. That's the way that goes. So,
dude, Joakim Noah said, "Who goes on vacation in Cleveland?"
Yeah, it's work, man. Big boys, big boys national volleyball tournament. I'll be there repping for the next couple of days. So, yeah, man. Great to be here, Vashawn. We got some stuff to discuss. I got an alert text that Kyle Davidson, the Blackhawks general manager, actually will be speaking in about 15 minutes. So by the time I get off of here, I think he's going to have like a 10 o'clock press conference to discuss what went into his thinking for firing Luke Richardson. And just to gotta correct you and Steve on the graphic that you had earlier. You got your graphic, the Chicago way up. Can you post it up? I see it's in your background there. Mm-hmm. You made a mistake though, Shawn. I gotta tell you, you missed one.
Which one?
You didn't. The Chicago Fire also fired their head coach November.
But it's soccer. Nobody cares about soccer.
They don't, but it just shows you the sorry state.
The Irish people, the German people, the Mexican people, the Spanish people, the Argentinian people. Oh, nobody else cares. The European people, the South American people. No one else, besides them, nobody else cares about soccer.
Right. Oh, God. So they fired their coach November the 12th. So it hadn't even been a month since they fired their coach. So I'm going for everybody. I'm on Billy Donovan watch. He should be nervous right now.
And I'm saying that Grim Reaper would be like, Billy, come out to play, Billy. Hey, use the Rosie. Billy, you next, Billy, you.
Oh my God. I was like, wow, everybody is fired. Don't come to Chicago to work. That's all I can say. But where do you want to start with this topic? We can go all over the place here.
Well, yeah. So let's talk about Luke Richardson and why he was fired. I mean, his record was not very good while he was here. As I said, he was He was very poor. He was 57, 118, and 15.
Yeah.
Okay. And currently they're sitting at 8, 16, and 2. Now, how much of that is his fault and how much of that is Davidson's fault? Because you're the one cooking you're the one giving me the groceries.
Right. So following the beat reporters, our good friends Phil Thompson of the Chicago Tribune, who we've had on What's Up Cuz, along with Scott Powers of The Athletic. I kind of saw this coming earlier in the year. Now, Ben Pope and I disagreed. Ben is covering for the Sun-Times, and Ben said Kyle Davidson was committed to Luke at least through this season. I told Ben, I don't see that happening if this team doesn't do well, because he went out and he did bring in a bunch of veteran free agents. And the first sign for me that Richardson might be in trouble was he did a healthy scratch earlier this season on Andres Anastasiou, who Davidson had extended in the offseason. And then he also did a healthy scratch of Taylor Hall earlier this year as well. And those two, I was like, that seems kind of weird to do that to those two veterans that you paying a lot of money to. After the CU, they ended up sending it all the way down to Rockford. This is going to be interesting. Here's what I observed, and here's what the reporters are reporting. What I observed was that this team just wasn't responding to Richardson in games. The Blackhawks have squandered so many third period 2-goal leads this season. That's the first bad sign. I think the main bad sign that we've all seen is that Connor Bedard has somewhat regressed. And don't get me wrong, the kid put up a great rookie season, but his scoring has not been there. He's still getting on the sheets with the assists, but he's not scoring. What Ben is saying, what Ben Pope is reporting, that the Richardson's philosophy of defense first has definitely kept the Blackhawks in games, but that it's hurt their offense. And, you got to score goals to win. It's any sport. You can have the best defense possible. You still got to score at a certain point. So Ben thinks that Richardson's philosophy just wasn't gelling right now with this team. Other things that you can say about Richardson was, where was the development coming from these young players? That is what they want to see. They've drafted a lot of young players the last couple of years in the draft. Some of them are still down in Rockford, like Frank Nazar, your first round draft pick this year, the defenseman. He's not expected to be up for a couple of years, but there hasn't been that next step that you kind of want to see with your young players. And I think that also definitely hurt Richardson. Couple of things also from the beat reporters. And, if you really want to know what's going on with the team, I always tell people, follow your beat reporters, follow your Mark Lazarus and those guys. And one of the things that also came into play, Shawn, is, remember, the Blackhawks this year are playing in the Winter Classic. I got my jerseys on. Yesterday they had the big press conference. They were advertising this.
Yes.
Well, if you watch that game that they just played 2 nights ago against Boston, an original 6 team in Chicago, United Center wasn't packed to the rafters, and the energy was very low. A lot of the beat reporters were sending me pictures talking about how empty it was, how there was no energy in the building against the original 6 team, and you're trying to build up momentum to this big international event, which is the Winter Classic in a couple weeks. And the Blackhawks may be learning from the Chicago Bulls when they hosted the All-Star game that year, and was a complete disaster that was going on. And fans were spending more time trashing the franchise than they were celebrating the All-Star game. I think that played a big part, Shawn, into why they decided to pull the trigger now on Richardson. When you start seeing sales of sweaters and hats and ticket sales declining, that gets an organization's attention. And I just think they just couldn't wait any longer to make this move. I thought it was a good move from a hockey standpoint, but I also think that the failures on some of the marketing strategies that are taking place, they don't want to go back to the Blackhawks of the 2000s when nobody was watching games, nobody was going to games. And I think you add to that the complete cluster, with the rollout of the Chicago Sports Network. And that was just a disaster. You know, I wasn't able to watch the
game. Ready, dude. How do you not? This has been in works for over a year. How do you not have that ready? How do you not have the contract signed with Comcast? I think Comcast was being petty because they're not on Comcast Sportsnet anymore. I think they were pissed. Or NBC Sports Chicago. I think Comcast is being petty, personally.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. But there were just so many other things. So like they have the over-the-air antenna that you could pick the games up on, and they had it, you know, in all these markets. And you know, here in the Wisconsin market, we didn't get it until last week. We literally didn't get the station until last week. So you had a lot of fans who were up here who couldn't watch the game because obviously they're not going to get, you know, Chicago's cable. And if you get DirecTV, a lot of time it gets blocked out because of broadcasting rights. Believe it or not, in many parts of Wisconsin, they show Minnesota Wild games. Right. So the only way they could do it was to, you know, get the over-the-air signal. And they just got the station last week. So, I mean, there was so many issues with that. And, you know, that adds to the malaise of your fan base, as Mark Lazarus wrote, that they had to do something. Now, you know, is Richardson the fall guy for some of this stuff? Possibly, but I think he did enough to get fired as well. I think that record that you quoted earlier, what is it, 51 and 100 and something? Jesus, that's pretty awful for, you know, 2 1/4 seasons.
57, 118, and 15.
Yeah, that's not good, man. That's not good. So he did enough to get himself fired. And, you know, granted, that first year, you know, he really didn't have nothing to work with. But I've always said I thought he was a placeholder. And, you know, they've now gone out. They're bringing in their guy from Rockford. And, you know, the players that they're going to be bringing up, those young players, they should be used to the system. So it's going to be very interesting. I think the Blackhawks could be very active during the trade deadline when it comes up in February. Very, very active in the trade deadline because they do have a lot of veteran players that could be some nice pieces on other teams like Pat Maroon, some of these guys. And, you know, what are you going to get back in exchange? And Seth Jones probably will be back in about 3 weeks as well. Maybe even sooner. They're trying to get him ready for the Winter Classic game as well. That didn't help Luke Richardson either. So Blackhawks definitely got a lot of issues, though. So Richardson had to pay the price, man.
Yep, it's going to be a fall guy. And you know what? It's unfortunate. You know, there's so many different, you know, coaches that have gotten the axe. You know, this is just the latest one. Let's not forget, you know, the ones we have. Teresa Witherspoon was one right before that. That was only after a year. Mm-hmm. All right, that shook. And I don't know, you know, you cover the Sky and you're a lot closer. Yeah. What was the situation there? Like, was she just too tough? I mean, because obviously Angel Reese loved her.
Yeah.
You know, well, Evans didn't really like her. She was sitting on the bench a lot. What was the situation with Teresa Witherspoon? Because it seemed like a match made in heaven. Two Louisiana, two Kim Mulkey products working together. So.
Yeah. And so I did cover the Sky this year. The problem was that she was so favorite toward Angel, it turned off a large portion of the team. That's basically what happened with the Sky. And you could see it if you watch the games when Angel Reese was in games when there was a 30-point game, and you're like, why is she still playing? Oh, well, because they're trying to get the double-double streak thing. That's basically what that was about. She definitely was leaving Reese in, showing favoritism towards Reese. She definitely was responsible for Kennedy Carter's resurgence of her career. She may have given her a second chance in her entire career, and she does deserve credit for that. But what you also didn't see was Cardosa developing.
Yes.
You know, you got a 6'7" post player. You got to get her the ball. And, you know, her minutes were sporadic. It was a lot going on. And she was injured at the beginning of the year, but she was healthy for the most part. And I think the Sky just didn't see enough development there. But I think for the most part, there were a lot of players. Isabel Harrison wasn't happy. Dana Evans wasn't happy. And Dana was the only returning member of your championship team. And, you know, she started as a starting point guard, and then she got benched. And that whole relationship just deteriorated from there. Dana's overseas now killing it. So it could have just been that she wasn't responding to Witherspoon's system. So there was a lot going on with the Sky in terms of the personality clashes that were going on behind the scenes. And, I think now, you're bringing in a new coach, a brother who comes highly recommended. It should be very interesting to see what the Sky do. They're going to have a number 3 pick this year as well. And other news, Chicago and Jewel Lloyd has requested a trade from Seattle.
Yeah.
Lloyd, an Olympian, a heck of a ball out of Notre Dame. She wants a trade. Do the Sky have the wherewithals to make an offer to bring Jewel back? Because I think she would definitely give you that scoring that you lost when you traded Kalia Copper. So if they can find a way to get Jewel Lloyd and hold on to that number 3 overall pick this year, the Sky have a chance of rewriting their ship rather quickly. And the bottom line, Shawn, is we need these Chicago teams, all of them. The Bears, the Sky, the Blackhawks, the Bulls, the White Sox, for the love of God. And even the Cubs, they all have to be better. I've never in my lifetime, I don't know if you can remember, I never remember where everybody wasn't average or bad, but everybody was like terrible. The White Sox were the worst ever. The Blackhawks are in last place. The Bears are in last place. Like, we have everybody in last place. I can never remember where everybody was this horrible at once.
Yeah, there was always one team that was good. I mean, the Cubs were good for a while, then the Sox would be good for a year. I mean, Steve-O said in the back that they had to go back to the late 70s, early 80s for this stuff to happen. And when they're all this bad, and it's, and Samo says the White Sox are hopeless. I agree. And they're asking about the status of Kennedy Carter. Dude, I'll tell you what, Kennedy Carter had a phenomenal season. She plays with that edge.
Yeah.
She plays with an edge, but man, and if you could just reel her in, just kind of control it a little bit, and keep it directed, focused and directed in a positive manner, man, Charlie, I like her attitude. I like her resilience. I like the way she pushes the envelope. I like the way she plays. Man, love Kennedy Carter. And you're right. Teresa Witherspoon was literally responsible for getting her career resurrected, because she's going to go on, because now she got confidence. So now she got that confidence back. So when she plays, it doesn't matter who the coach. Well, we know who the coach is, but it doesn't matter now. She's coming into this season with confidence, and that's all you can ask of a player wants, is to be able to have confidence going into another season. You know what I mean? So it's how many times did we talk about Patrick Williams? I'm like, dude, get some. You know what I mean? Like, develop, get some confidence. Even DeMar and Zach were like, dude, shoot, because he didn't have that confidence. Kennedy Carter, she got that confidence back, and it's going to be a big thing. If they can somehow get Lloyd and keep that 3 pick, just think of that. Kennedy Carter running the show, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, Lloyd, and the number 3 pick, whoever that is. That's a nice roster. So
it could be interesting. Cornelius, in answer to your question, Carter is a free agent. She has not ruled out returning to the Sky. However, in her exit interview, she did not rule out coming to the Sky when we interviewed her at the end of the season. At the same time, they fired her coach like a week later. So that could be kind of an interesting factor, because it's like, Shawn just said, Witherspoon brought out the best in her. So can another coach do exactly the same thing? Right now, Carter's overseas. I contacted her a little bit. She was spending some time with her girlfriend overseas, playing ball. But I don't know. And I think that's the answer right now in terms of Kennedy Carter. We don't know if she's going to return to the Sky or not, if you're going to even make her an offer. You bring in a new coach, they have a new philosophy. What is their system going to be? Would that work with her? I'm not sure. Going to be interesting. The Sky have a lot of questions. They got a lot of openings, though, and it's still Chicago. So it's still a major market. And when you talk about WNBA, it's a huge market because they don't have as many teams as other leagues. So Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago are literally the 3 big markets in the WNBA. So we shall see what she does. Kennedy Carter has balanced out her work-life balance, which had been a big problem in the past with her. If she's balanced that out, can come back and contribute, yeah. But I also think if the Sky make a play for Jewel Lloyd, do you still add Carter to that mix? I'm not really sure. I think one thing that the Sky need more than anything else is some outside shooters. More than anything, they need some outside shooters because they didn't have none of that last year. And the Blackhawks need scoring. They need some scoring. And I think, Lazarus hit it right on the head where he said that defense first mentality, it'll keep you in games. It'll stop you from getting blown out too much. But how many times this year had the Blackhawks been blanked on the scoreboard because they couldn't put the biscuit in the basket? Come on, baby. You got to score here at some point. Other things, Philip Kurashev has regressed tremendously from last year. And one of the other indictments against Luke Richardson was he screwed up the lines. And he screwed them up from the beginning of the season. He took Kurashev off of Bedard's line, and those two were magic last year. And he brought, they brought Timo Teravainen back, and Hall came back after the injury. So I get he was trying to put some people around, but you put your fingers in the recipe a little bit too much as a cook. You're gonna spoil the pot, man. And I think Richardson started off the season not having the lines under control, and then he kept tinkering. And at a certain point, you ruin all the chemistry. So I think this firing of Luke Richardson is giving the Blackhawks a reset. Were they going to be a playoff team this year? Probably not. But were they going to be the last place team, Shawn? Like dead last? Worse than San Jose? Who had the overall #1 pick, but he been hurt and only played in 10 games? You're last. You can't be last, man. Chicago just won't, they won't tolerate it. Our fan base won't tolerate it. And, people are doing other things. We ain't going to the Bulls games either. So I don't know what people, maybe we ice skating or I don't know. I don't know what people are doing, but I know people are not tuning into the games as much with the Bulls and the Blackhawks right now because they just haven't been good. Well, that too.
Well, that's similar to what happened in LA. Remember in LA, they had a big problem with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And in LA, in Southern California, it's Dodger country. I know they got the Angels, but that's Dodger country. Let's keep it a buck.
Yep.
A couple years ago, when the Dodgers had they created their own network and they couldn't get on the biggest cable provider, man, millions and millions of Dodger fans were pissed.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you just can't do that. You can't keep treating your fan base like this. And I just wish these Chicago teams would figure that out, man. The White Sox, what they did to the fan base this year was a crime.
Yes,
Jerry Reinsdorf should be forced to sell that damn team after what he did to White Sox fans this year. That was absolutely deplorable what he did. And I think the Bears sensed it, Shawn. I mean, you and I talked a little bit about it, the firing. I think they sensed it. I think the ownership sensed it because the players had such a rebellion. But the fans have been feeling the same way the players have about Eberflus going back to last year. And, you can't keep doing things the way you've always done them. My cousin and co-host Lance says that all the time. You have to change the culture. So I think right now what Chicago is going through more than anything else, and to your guests listening, they'll probably agree with me, we're going through kind of a sports culture change in Chicago where the fans are basically willing to say, I'm kind of done with the team right now. I got more stuff I can be doing. I can hang out with my girlfriend. I can kick it with my kids. I can go with my boys. I can read a book. I can watch a movie, do whatever. Like your time, I think we're all now understanding our time here on earth is more valuable than us constantly pouring into people and things that are disrespectful towards us. And I think that's what Chicago sports teams have been toward their fans the last couple of years. They've just been outright disrespectful because they haven't even been trying to improve their products on the field, making terrible personnel decisions, being cheap on hiring head coaches, not having your TV deals in place, and then asking for new stadiums. Let's keep that buck, okay? The Fire want a new stadium. The White Sox had the nerve to ask, I don't know what the hell Jerry Rondor is thinking of. He wants a new stadium. The Bears have been trying to get a new stadium for 3 years. That's the type of stuff that will make your fan base turn on you when you're that terrible and you're asking for taxpayer money when we got teachers who can't get a contract and police officers and city workers, and we got all these other things going on. Your sports teams, they can't come at you like that. And so what we're seeing in Chicago right now, I think, is a sports culture kind of rebellion, I'll say, from the citizens and the fans of these teams. Like, no, you got to do better. We deserve better as Bears fans. We deserve better as Bulls fans. And again, what's up, my Shawn? I think Billy Donovan should be the most nervous person in Chicago right now.
Yeah, it's a shame. This Eberflus thing, like, I didn't really think that they were going to do what they did, and that's fire someone a head coach mid-season. Right? But like you said, and Lance says, you want different, you got to do different. And this is what they're doing, and hopefully it pays off. My next guest, Herb Howard, is going to be jumping on in a few minutes, and I'm excited because I hope this brother Thomas Brown can really get it going. He's got the ear, he got the attention of his players. Right, he's straight up. He's in your face, but he's not. You know what I mean? Like, he is just direct. He is just direct, and they respect it. Right? He's an alpha male, and you need an alpha male to lead alpha males. And it's to this point, it's good. Now, can it work with? Can it work? I don't know. We're gonna find out. So we're gonna find out.
Just got a report from the press conference. I'm gonna jump out of here and get into it. But Davidson said Luke Richardson's assistant coaches will all remain on the staff, but that their new head coach Sorensen will have the autonomy to divvy up their responsibilities as he sees fit. So the assistant coaches will all stay, but the new head coach will have the autonomy to divvy up their responsibilities. So, we'll see how much autonomy he really has, because that's the other problem we've seen in Chicago. Who really has autonomy and who's got to do what the general manager says. So I always get nervous with Chicago when they do that stuff. So we'll see, man. We shall see, Shawn. I'm going to get out of here, let you bring on Herb. I'll be listening in the background, and you enjoy the time out there in San Fran. Give us a good report. Hurry up and get your ass back home for a damn volcano blows up or something with you. Can't send you nowhere. Good Lord. Shawn, we can see his ass at home, my Shawn. He causing world events now. It didn't even get off the plane and stuff was happening.
Oh, man, you're a fool, Jay. I love it. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. Peace out, Shawn.
All right. That's funny. Jay and Lion, man. Holy cow. That's nutso. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my mans and now, Herb Howard. All right. We're going to talk a little Bears, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it live right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
still remains is to make sure we build an organization that can have continued success both on and off the field. Now is that time. Now is the opportunity. We have some great attributes on our side. We have the greatest fans in the National Football League. I would argue we have the greatest fans in all of professional sports. One, the decision was made to terminate the employment of head coach Matt Eberflus. These are not easy decisions. These individuals have worked hard. Coach Eberflus worked hard. They have families. We understand that. And we try to do everything in a professional manner. That decision was made on Friday. That was the first thing. The second thing, we made the decision and determination to promote Thomas Brown to interim head football coach of the Chicago Bears. It was the right time to make that decision. Thomas is incredibly bright. He's hardworking. He's grown up around the game. He's talented. He has great leadership capabilities. He's decisive and he's clear.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. That was Bears president Kevin Warren, along with his general manager, who looked like he was chastised before walking out to that press conference, Ryan Poles. Talking about the situation of our Bears. Anyway, Mr. Shorty, you're funny. Ryan's sitting there like, I told this fool to hire Harbaugh. Shorty, you're funny. That's awesome. Our next guest is a good friend of the program. He is that's my man's in them. He works for the Bigs. He covers the Bears, a beat writer for the Bigs. You can find him on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya. Herb Howard. Herb, what's up, Papa? How are you?
What's happening, my brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm out here in Frisco.
Shaking things up, apparently.
Dude, man, there was so before I even got here, I was in Arizona. I had a pit stop in Arizona, and I got like a whole bunch of text messages because there was an earthquake just north of here, of San Fran. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, no, it was north of here. Then on my flight from Phoenix to here to Frisco, a dude 2 rows in front of me had a seizure. I'm like, and it's only an hour from Phoenix to San Fran, but damn, we had like 20, 25 minutes left. I'm like, oh, dude, don't tell me we're going to have someone pass away and have a dead body on this joint for 20 minutes.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Luckily, there was a doctor on board, helped him out, and a dude got up and walked off the plane. But dude, it freaked me out, man. And my man, I was in the middle row because everyone's Southwest, so my seating was C47 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting the middle seat. But I saw him, and he was just like, I saw his head go. I was like, oh shit, this is nuts. And man, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, all right, man, that's wild.
Yeah, but yeah, that's Thomas Brown, first game, head coach as the interim head coach of the Chicago Bears. It seemed like practice went well this week. What is your thoughts as you were up there at Hallis Hall on how practice was under new interim head coach Thomas Brown?
Well, I mean, practice is, we get limited view of that. Once the season starts, we only see stretching basically. So I can't.
They warmed up really well.
Right. World-class athletes stretching. They look great. I'll say this: the vibe up there is really, really good. Right. Everybody seems to be feeling really positive, really optimistic about what it is that Coach Brown can bring to the table. The players are saying the right things in terms of, following the things that he's trying to implement. He's certainly saying the right things. He's handling all of his media availability very well. He's being transparent without telling you anything. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be something that we see change, at least during the time that he's, in place as the head coach. There's been so much talk coming out of that locker room, just out of that building all season long, and he's not for that. In his introductory press conference as interim head coach, he said, listen, man, I got a lot of really good neighbors around my house that I really like, but they don't know what's going on in my house. It ain't their business. And so I think some of that talking that we've been hearing from some of the players and, just coming out of the building in general, that's going to stop. I mean, that's not great for us as media and as fans, but I think it's probably the best thing for the football team. So, um, he's telling you some things in terms of his philosophies and what he wants to do, but he's not really giving you that peek behind the curtain. And you're seeing the players kind of follow suit. Guys that have been, more talkative and just more open about things that have been going on. You're not really getting that from them, right now. So, but I think the coaches got a chance to talk to all the offensive assistants yesterday, and they seem to be really, really in line with what Thomas Brown is trying to get done up there. So the vibe is really, really good, man. They get a good opportunity to go way across the country, kind of get away from everybody, and play a good but banged up football team. Right? They've been banged up all year, but they're still a good football team, and so. It's an opportunity for the Bears to go on the road and get a win. They haven't done that on a Sunday in a very long time. Um, and I think he's going to be. I think people are going to be pleasantly, I won't say surprised, but they're going to really enjoy watching his sideline demeanor, just the energy that he's going to bring, his passion for the game. He'll be calm and collected, but he's going to be very, very passionate, and you'll see that, his interactions with his players. I'm very interested to see how he handles game situations, 2-minute timeout challenges, referee interactions, those types of things. But I think people are going to really like his sideline demeanor. So far, he seems to be um, more than capable of holding down the job.
Yeah, and I'm excited for him. It's a huge opportunity, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes we don't get the opportunities the way we want. All right, but
Right.
when they're presented, you got to be ready, and he's ready. It seems like, and I'm looking forward to it. What is your thought of him actually strongly being considered for the permanent head coach? What does he have to do for them to say, you know what, we're done. We're not even going to look at anybody else. We got our guy, and he's going to be the new head coach going into 2025. What does he have to do?
Well, I don't think there's anything he can do to make them say we're not going to look at anybody else. I think it would be prudent of them to perform their due diligence, go about the process as if they have no idea who their coach is going to be. I do think, you know, that they should give him a legitimate opportunity with this 5-week audition. Like, I really do think they should take this thing very serious and strongly consider him as a leading candidate to be the Bears' next long-term head coach. I think for that to, come to fruition, he is going to have to continue to establish himself in the team, right? Can I control the entirety of this football team, not just offense, not just quarterbacks, not just Caleb, right? But the entirety of the football team. Can the defense follow me? Do they believe in me? Can I handle special teams well? Can I, work well with my coordinators and Coach Hightower, Coach Washington, and he's elevated Coach Chris Beatty, receivers coach, to offensive coordinator now. Can they implement the things that will allow these operations to run a lot smoother, because they haven't run very smooth? When you talk about what are we going to do on 4th down, what are we going to do in 2-minute, what are we going to do with these challenges, what are we going to do with timeouts, those things have not been done well. And if he's able to implement those things, and he's going to have 5 weeks, there will be ample opportunity to see how he manages a football game on Sundays. I believe that head coaches are worth about 6 or 7 points on Sundays, and the Bears just haven't gotten that enough. And unfortunately for Coach Eberflus, that's why he's no longer here. Um, can Coach Brown do that better is what I'm interested in seeing. And if he can do that, I don't really have a I don't have a record for it. I'm not saying, oh, he's got to go 4-1 or he's got to go 5-0 or what it look like if he goes 3-2. I don't know, right? It just, what does it look like? What does it feel like? How are the players responding to him? How is Caleb continuing to develop? And if he does those things well, then I think they should strongly consider him as their next head coach. But I do believe that they should still go out and, like I said, perform their due diligence and interview other candidates and talk to everybody from Ben Johnson to Bill Belichick if they want to, um, and just see, because you got Thomas Brown there, and if you like what he's done, that's really, really good. I think he's going to do well. You have him there. You can still go see about some other options. I'll be interested to see if Caleb has any input. I asked Ryan Post that when during their press conference, and he said, it's important that we consider him, but I don't know what degree of input he'll have. And I think that's the right thing. I view it the same way. I was making an analogy about, if you move in homes and like, I'll consider my children, right? I'll consider, where the good schools are, who has good parks, who has good, I'll consider them. but I ain't asking them shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving them the choice of where we moving to. So, I think that's what they should do with Caleb. Now, if he comes in there and he's banging on the table about Coach Brown, say, I'm really loving what's going on here, then you have to take that into consideration, a lot. So, he's got his opportunity in front of him. He gets the first crack at it, and if he does well, let's say he should be in pole position going into this process.
No pun intended. One of the things that I hope, all right, I hope is that Thomas Brown has used the situation. We've all been in a situation where we're the number 2, where we don't have to make decisions. We're behind the guy making the decisions. Right. And we see all his screw ups. We see all his great decisions. We see all his flaw, as Samuel says, flaws and all. We see everything, and we're like, okay, I see what he did. But once it's a lot different when you're making that decision, what you would do in number 2, and as opposed to making it with number 1. I hope he's seen a lot of things that have gone wrong and says, okay, if I get this job, if I get an opportunity, it might not have been here, but now that it's here, let me not do this. Let me not do that. Let me not do this because that led to the ouster of the other dude. I hope he takes advantage of that. I think he will. He seems like a really bright guy who's learned from a lot of really, really, really talented coaches who have a lot of high regard for this young man or this man.
Yeah, I think that, he came in and in his first press conference, he had a list of things that he immediately wanted to change. And he talked about, how divisive things have been in the building. He talked about coming together and having one vision. He talked about being more physical. He talked about playing the game at a lot more violently than they have been playing. And so, I think
she said that with a smirk too.
Yeah.
Smirk. I kind of got the goosebumps when he did that. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, you like that. Like you like that kind of stuff. What was interesting to me about that specifically was that we've always heard from Coach Eberflus about this collaborative, open door environment and taking information from everybody. And so for me to hear Coach Brown come in and immediately say, well, I want to change this, that, it's like, well, damn, you couldn't you didn't feel free to articulate this before. You couldn't say this before. And so if anything, I hope he understands that he needs to have a more collaborative approach with his assistants and make sure that they feel comfortable coming to him to say, hey, this ain't quite right. Maybe we should look at this. Maybe we should do that. Because just going off what he said, it doesn't seem like that was taking place. It seemed like there were some communication breakdowns. And you saw that translate to Sundays, right? Where you go back to Green Bay and, the botched the field goal. And it's like, well, Thomas Brown had already called a play into Caleb. I know he did because I asked Caleb. And he said, yeah, we had the play come in already. There's a communication breakdown on a lot of these things. There's a communication breakdown on the process with these challenges. There's a communication breakdown on these timeouts, on these 4th down scenarios. Like these things, it's not seamless, right? And so that's what I hope he's able to do, right off the bat. Can we eliminate some of these they just look terrible, just blunder, disorganized. Can he eliminate some of that with his coaches? And so he seems to have a plan. I know you can't, kind of reinvent the wheel, week 12, but he seems to have a plan for what he wants to do. And I'm excited to see what that looks like.
You, me, and the entire Bear Nation is excited to see what it looks like because there's a lot going on. There was rumors, according to Mike North, who apparently still got a plug, saying that Jim Harbaugh reached out to the Bears this offseason about the job, and Kevin Warren shot it down. Have you heard anything similar? Can you corroborate that or anything like that? Because obviously it goes back to their contentious days in the Big Ten when Warren was the Big Ten president and he wanted to cancel the season during COVID. And Harbaugh and the players want to play. Any truth to that or anything that you may have heard?
I can't confirm nor deny that report, but I mean, like you said, it goes back to them at the Big Ten. You also got to figure the McCaskies into this too, and what do they want? Whether or not they wanted them here. What is his price, right? And would they be willing to pay that? Usually, that's always a conversation for them as well. And so, even when you talk about firing Coach Eberflus, listen, if you fired him on Friday morning, you knew you were going to fire him on Thursday night, right? You knew the second that ball hit the ground, in Detroit and with the clock expiring, you knew he was done, right? The way they did that entire process was just terrible. But they had to meet with George McCaskey the next morning. And so to me, y'all should have done that Thursday night when y'all got back. I know it's Thanksgiving. I know people trying to get home and whatever, but hey, we about to do something we've never done in the history of this franchise. We need to get in the room together and talk about this. Ryan Post had decided he wanted to fire him. Kevin Warren says, well, we had to talk about it because there was some debate. Who's debating this? Right?
Yeah.
If Ryan Post decides that he wants to fire him, who was in there like, no, we got to keep him? It's got to be George, right? So we waiting on him to get into the room so that we can have this conversation. Meanwhile, he's talking to the press, you know, expressing his confidence that he'll be coaching in San Francisco. While y'all upstairs talking about this his last day. Like it's just that's the process was terrible. So you know, as far as Jim Harbaugh, he's such a huge personality, and I don't know if that's threatening to the front office or to ownership. I was at the league meetings in was it Orlando or Tampa? I think it was Orlando in March, and he's holding court in the middle of the hotel, and all the coaches are there. I mean, everybody's just kind of going about their thing and doing their thing, and they're hanging around the bar, restaurants, whatever. And but Jim Harbaugh is like, hey, like I'm standing here in the middle and everybody's around him. It looks like he's having a press conference. He's not, but it looks that way. You know what I mean? And I just don't know if they wanted that type of figure in the building. I don't know if they wanted that. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's the right thing. Clearly, he's a very good football coach, and that should be all that matters. But I don't know if they wanted that. So, um, whether or not he called and reached out, maybe he did. I can't confirm that. I certainly can't deny it either.
Yeah, so it's interesting because the guy I wanted, if you're going to fire Flus last offseason, which some reports say that Poles wanted to do that, and that was shot down as well. He was a guy I definitely wanted because of what he's doing, exactly what he's doing with the Chargers now. Exactly, he's going to run the ball, all right, and play great defense, and it doesn't make any kind of sense. Who else are you thinking about as or would be a good replacement if they go away from Thomas Brown? Who do you think would be a good? Who are some of your top candidates?
Well, first, I would want Thomas Brown to succeed, right? I want him to
me too.
succeed
Me too.
and do well, and then do well enough for them to really consider him and offer him the job. Like that would be first to me. But then, you got to consider a guy like Ben Johnson. You love what you see from the Lions offense. Now, again, what's good about the position that Thomas Brown is in, he gets the first chance to show that not only can I run and coordinate an offense, I can oversee and manage this entire team. And that's a different thing. We don't know that about Ben Johnson. We know he can scheme plays and call plays. We know that. Can you command an entire locker room, right? And you don't get the opportunity to see that until you hire him, right? That's the cool thing about having this 5-week audition for Thomas Brown. But you certainly want to look at him, and you may look at, Aaron Glenn may be a possibility. I don't see that they're going to go a defensive route. You got the coordinator up in Buffalo and down in Houston and Slowick. Like, you got these guys, these names that are floating around. And if you want to go all the way to Bill Belichick, I was surprised to see that he took an interview at North Carolina yesterday. But it should be an exhaustive search, right? But do the search while you feel comfortable about what you already have at home. And if Thomas Brown can prove that, then I think he should be the next Bears head coach. I really do. But I would still go around and talk to as many people as you want to talk to. Bring them in, go see them, talk to them, listen to their philosophies, what they want to do with Caleb, what they want to do offensively, defensively, because that matters too, right? You talk about bringing in these different coaches. Well, you've spent the last 3 years building a roster to play 4 down, cover two, like like that matters. So you get a coach that comes in here and now he wants to play 3-man front. You don't really have that roster right now, right? You get Billings back, and surely he can play nose, and you kick Javon out to one of those ends. But DeMarcus Walker is flexible. Maybe you can put it together, but now do you have the 4 linebackers that you can, I don't know that you have that. That's not what you've built. So all of those things kind of come into play when you kind of consider this. Well, I think that's why it's good to have a guy in the building who already knows kind of what's going on here. If he can show it, he should be the guy.
Yeah, I like it a lot for him. I think he is, because it's a little different for him. Now he's got to be on the field. It's a whole and plays. So it's a whole different. It's something new. So can he handle that? That's one. Can he still handle Caleb's ascension? We've seen Caleb progressing as long as Thomas has been coaching. We've seen that. We've seen the growth and the progress. Can he handle all the other things that are going on as a head coach? And if he can't, he's got a 5-game window. That's what lends me to go another. How many times are we going to get the next hot coordinator? You know what I mean? Give me a guy who's done it before, who's been there, who's had it, who's been there, done that. But also, at some point, all good coaches needed a first try. I mean, how can you get experience if no one takes you because you don't have experience? It's kind of like catch-22.
Right.
So good. I hope he's got the opportunity now. So I hope he takes it and runs with it, because I would love for him to be the head coach. I just like his demeanor. I like his football acumen. I like the way he commands that team, and they respond to him very well. And that's real. That's real. Right? Although you do hear a lot of coach speak, you feel it comes from a genuine place from him.
But it's real though. Yeah.
Coach, you got to be real. You got to be yourself, and I think that's who he is. And I think, man, it goes well these next 5 games. And even with a search, hope he is named the head coach, because that could be. What if this is guy? I mean, I could actually see this guy being the next coach for the next 10 or 15 years if given if things work out. You know
That'd
what I mean?
be great. That would be great. It would be very, very nice to have that kind of stability at head coach. I mean, since Lovey's been gone, there's just been constant turnover. It's like 2 years, 3 years, maybe 4 years, and that's it. And it's like, enough of this, right? Enough of this. Let's get a guy in here that can stabilize this team, stabilize this organization, and build a consistent contender, right? I mean, you, continuing to like the game last night, the Lions and the Packers game. It was just another example of seeing things done in a way where we have been doing the exact opposite thing all season long. It's like, oh my God, like it's the same scenarios playing out in your face. And Detroit we're gonna get closer. We're gonna get closer. We're gonna make this kick as easy as possible. Now, Dan Campbell, he's got some stones that I don't think any other coach in the league has. That going for it on that last 4th down was insane. Like nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna kick that field goal with 33 seconds left, whatever it was. But he was like, "No, we're not. We're gonna get closer. We're gonna get this 1 yard. I'm not worried about it." He's just being himself, man. He does it every time. And so, the one time it didn't work and they gave the Packers the ball on their own 30 and Packers scored a touchdown. And he's like, okay, whatever. When it comes up again, we're going to do it again. And this time, with the game literally on the line, we're going to forego this field goal. We're going to get this thing closer. I'm not giving them the ball back at all. And it was like, man, that dude is different, man. But even you go back a few weeks before that, when Jim Harbaugh, same situation, right? He's like, no, we're not going to settle for the field goal. We're going to run the ball again. And they broke one for the touchdown, right? And you just watched us against the Packers, like, God, like we just continue to make these mistakes that's so obvious. These weren't, none of this was Monday morning quarterbacking. None of those mistakes that we talked about this year in terms of coaching was Monday morning quarterbacking. This was all in the moment. Like, what the hell are you doing in the moment? And it was just one. It was one too many. One too many.
The thing about it is I think one of the reasons that they love him so much is that he tells them, like, we're going to go for it. As a player, you always want, if it's 4th and short, you want to go. Like, no, come on. How many times we see, come on, coach, send the field goal, you in the back. No. We're good. We want it. And if you have that conversation and say, hey, listen, line, the offensive line has 3 first-round draft picks in it.
Right.
You help us get 1 yard, all right, or 2 or 1.5 yards. And teams love it. And listen, if we don't get it, we don't get it. No, we're not going to. But guess what? If it happens again, we're going to do it again because I believe in you and I believe in this offensive line. And that's what rallies this team and gets them ready to go. Because I'm sure conversation. You got an offensive line willing to do with the belief, with the coach's belief, like he has in that offensive line. Man, they'll do anything for you, And the team loves it. And hopefully, we can start getting some offensive linemen, it's something you neglected, but get an offensive lineman, and we can say that. And Thomas Brown says, hey, offense, here it is. We're going to go for it and start being a little more risque. It's an identity, and that's the most important thing. Is like, you know what? We're coming at you. I know it's 4th and 1. I know if we miss it, you can go down and score. But guess what? We're gonna punch you. We're gonna punch you in the mouth, get 1 yard, and keep this clock moving. That is what really rallies football players and football team. And I hope Thomas Brown. I'm getting fired up thinking about it. I hope he gets it and does. Far too much talent to be where they're at, and I think time.
You got to be able to establish that identity, right? As a football team, and I think having those conversations with your coaches, right? When Dan Campbell makes those decisions, he knows he's putting the defense in a tough spot. He knows that, but the defensive coordinator and the entire defense knows too, right? They know who their head coach is. They know, hey, strap up. Let's go. We only got 30 yards to defend, but it is what it is. This is what we do. This is how we've gotten to be 11 and now 12 and 1. This is how we've gotten to be, number 1 seed in the NFC. This is who we are. And if everybody understands that, then we can all pull in the same direction. Nobody feels like, oh man, you keep putting us in bad spots. You keep doing this to us. No. This is who we are. I asked Coach Washington yesterday whether or not him and Coach Brown had those conversations about what we're going to do philosophically in these situations, right? And because you got to get on the same page with your coordinators with that. You got to be on the same page with Coach Hightower and say, hey, because the kicking game impacts the other 2 sides of the ball all the time. And so you guys got to be on the same page about what we're doing here. And then you won't have situations where you've got Caleb on the field and you got Cairo on the field. Like, what are we doing? What's happening? Why haven't we had this conversation already? Why don't we know what's going on? Why is our quarterback and our kicker on the field at the same time? Right? That shouldn't happen. So, you have these conversations, you have them early. And so when they pop up, because they're going to pop up, we always hear these coaches talk about, situational football. Well, when are you practicing this? When are you having these conversations? When have you established the philosophy of what you guys are going to do? We can collaborate about it, right? We can get everybody's idea and everybody's input. And then the head coach gets 51% and says, hey, this is what we're going to do. Now, everybody get on board. And if that means that Coach Washington, hey, we're going to put you and TJ and Jalen and all those boys in a tough spot here, but y'all better have our back. Y'all better make sure this is the fucking field goal and not a touchdown, or take the ball away. Whatever it is, we believe in y'all that much. That's what y'all are here for. Have our back on this because we're going to play aggressive. Or you just say, hey, Caleb, we're going to protect our rookie quarterback. We believe in our kicking game. We like our punter. We love our defense. See if y'all can take it 90 yards on us all game long. We don't believe you can. Whatever you're going to do, establish it and be ready for those scenarios when they pop up. Do not be out here looking confused like a deer in the headlights on Sundays. It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's communication. That's really all it is. And if you have those tough conversations with your coordinator, and he passes it down to the respective sides, then is able to has these conversations, because he seems like the kind of guy he's old school, man. He seems like he's cut from that old school cloth that I really like, and it seems like he's not going to leave any stone unturned. Like a good friend of mine, a colleague, my coaching colleague said, if you take care of the little things, there are no big things.
Yep.
Like, you have that conversation. Like, you know what? Today it's preseason, but here's what we're going to do in practice. We don't got a game till 3-4 days from now. We're going to talk about, if we get it on 4th down, we're going to talk about it now. All right. So as the season goes on, we ain't got to worry. We're not gonna say, well, it's fourth down, and no, we're going. All right, or here's what we're gonna decide. And you have that conversation early when there's no pressure on. When the pressure's on, you know what you're gonna do. You know what you're gonna do. The offense knows what you're gonna do. The defense knows what you're gonna do. The special teams know what you're gonna do. And there's no confusion. So man, I'm looking forward to it. Give me your thoughts on this game because man, they are banged up. Yeah. San Francisco is banged up. Here's the injury report from yesterday. All right, you got Aaron Banks, Nick Bosa didn't practice, running back didn't practice, the Trent Williams didn't practice. You know, he's only the best left tackle in the game. That's okay. Right. You know, so you had a lot of guys that didn't practice. Give me your thoughts on the game because I know a lot of Bears didn't practice either. All right, that's unfortunate. Bates, Hicks, Roshan, Mercedes, DJ, DeAndre. But give me your thoughts, you know, about Sunday because this is a banged up San Francisco team that's going through a lot with all their injuries.
Yeah, I like the Bears' chances. I think they're 3.5-point dogs. But I like their chances to go out there and get a win. That is a very beat up San Francisco team. I think they're just about ready to throw in the towel. Now they play in that NFC West, and nobody's wanting to take that thing and run with it, so they feel like they still got a chance. But they're so beat up at all of their key positions. All of their best players are banged up, and so you know you can go out there and you can get some pressure on Brock Purdy, and you can stop the running game, and you can get out of there with a win. The Bears are not a bad football team that's devoid of talent. They got a lot of talent. They have their injuries as well, but listen, they should have beat their entire division. They should have swept their division these last 3 games. It was right there for them to beat the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings. It was right there for them to beat all 3 of them, right? And those are good football teams. So I don't believe they can't go out there. They let New England come into their building and dog walk them. They went to Phoenix and didn't show up. But when they've played these good teams, they've been in these games. All of them are going all the way back to Houston. Like they can play with good football teams. Yeah, they can play with these good football teams. They put up the graphic of the NFC playoff picture on the game last night, and I'm like, well, there's the Vikings should have beat, Packers should have beat, Lions should have beat. You had the Seahawks that are still up there coming, the 49ers. There was another team that we had already played up there. Like it's just like there's the whole entire playoff picture right in front of you, and you've played them all and gave those games to them. And I think they got a chance to go out there and one, stop the run, put Brock Purdy in obvious passing situations, get some pressure on them, try to force some takeaways, and then offensively, they've been playing well, man. We've seen what Thomas Brown has done since he's taken over as play caller. They've been putting up points. Just continue to do that, right? I think they'll continue to move the ball, up and down the field. It's just the situations. Can they manage situations? And that's like it's been a long time since I've been excited going to a football game just to see how the head coach manages situations, right? I think they can move the ball between the 20s. They've been performing well even in the red zone lately. Like I just want to see how he manages certain situations when they get themselves backed up because of a holding call or a false start, and now they find themselves 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. How does he try and get himself back into a position to have maybe a 4th and manageable? And what does he do in that situation? Like I just want to see, how he handles these situations when they pop up, when they arise. But I think certainly the Bears can go out there and get a win. In fact, I'll go ahead and predict them to go out there and get a win. I'll take the Bears. I'll take the Bears 27-23.
Okay. All right. Okay. Herb with a big prediction. I like it.
I'm excited, man. I think he's going to go out there with a really good game plan. I think the guys are going to want to play for him. This defense had been playing so well, not giving up, more than 21 points, and now they have done that a few times. But I think the injuries are just starting to add up, right? And it's not that the guys that have come in haven't done okay, right? Elijah Hicks came in, performed well enough when Jaquan went down, then he goes down. Jonathan Owens comes in, performs well enough, but eventually you're gonna miss guys like Andrew Billings and Jaquan Brisker, especially when you're talking about the physicality of your defense, especially when you're talking about stopping the run, filling some of these gaps, not letting these runs leak out the back door. Some of them hell flooding right out the front door. Like it's those two guys are key in their run defense, and so eventually you just miss those guys, right? Jaquan Brisker was the starter for a reason. I like Eli, I like Jo, but Jaquan was the starter for a reason, and we all know what Andrew Billings brought to the middle of that defensive line. So I think you're starting to miss those guys being around, but I still think they have enough defensively, to keep the offense in the game. And if they continue to improve, they should be able to put up enough points, man. I'm taking the Bears this Sunday.
Okay. Guess what? Your boy did the same. I got 24-20.
Let's go.
20. Give me your thoughts on, and there, Keenan Allen was asked, or he told you guys the other day that DJ told him run it back, and the question posed, someone asked him, "You want to run it back?" He goes, "Yeah." Your thoughts, and how much of this 5-game stretch is going to confirm that? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Keenan had a great camp. I thought he looked good all summer. Kind of got off to a bit of a slow start. Got a little banged up, but I think he's coming on right now. I think you can start to see like the route he ran.
Yes.
Like it was the whip route, and then it wasn't a whip, and
whip
then it
with
was
a hezzy.
like damn, like, and so
the whip with a nene.
Yeah, for real. So like you're starting to see that classic Keenan Allen route running, popping up, taking advantage of the mismatches, and that's what the idea of this offense was in the first place. That's why everybody was so excited to have DJ, Keenan, Rome, Cole, DeAndre, like you're gonna get mismatches, especially down in the scoring area. Like you get down there and it's like, okay, well, they got 3 wide. You got to put a corner on DJ, and Rome's coming along. And now you got Keenan in the slot, and he ends up on a linebacker, or he ends up on a safety, or he ends up on your third corner, and that's good night. You know what I mean? So he's coming along well. I think if he continues to do that, if he's able to play all 5 of these games, continue to be productive, maybe he gets 3 more scores or something like that. I think it's a conversation that you want to have, right? If he's got more in the tank, why not have that here? I mean, what's wrong with having those 3 receivers run it back? If he's got it left in the tank, let's go. Right now, depending on what the number is and what the money's looking like, but the Bears got money, right? You know what I mean?
Salary cap going up too, so
yeah, they got money and they have their weapons. They need to be focused on the trenches. So why create a problem with one of your weapons if you don't have one, or if you don't have to, right? So if you can get him back at a reasonable number, bring him back. Rome will continue to ascend. DJ is going to be DJ. Let everybody do their thing. Stay in the same system. If Thomas Brown is able to, secure the head coaching job, and then just roll. Go get some offensive linemen. Go get some defensive linemen. You can spend every single pick on that if you want to, as far as I'm concerned.
You and me both, man. You
got depth everywhere else. You got depth at secondary. Like, what do we? What else are we going to spend it on other than the trenches? You want to make some changes to that linebacker, or if you want to see, what's going on with your man, whatever. But like, what else you going to spend these draft picks on other than O lineman and D lineman?
Yeah, and not that they're the most important part of their team at all or anything. No,
right.
So hopefully it goes well. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there with you coming out.
I won't be out. I'm staying back. I got some things to do here.
Oh, okay. I was looking forward to seeing you too.
Always, you know that, my brother.
Yeah, so I'll be out there Sunday at the game, and and I'm looking. I can't wait, man. I just want to see you and me both. I'm fired up.
That was one more stadium for me to cross off my list too. I haven't been there, so I was looking forward to crossing that one off. But it's all good. I had to do it another time.
Okay. All right, cool, man. Well, hey, I appreciate it as always, man. Love talking football, talking Bears with you. Do me a favor before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Man, it's always a pleasure talking ball with you. I appreciate it, man. You can follow me on Twitter at HerbHoward411. You can follow my work at It's the Bigs. Appreciate you, man.
Cool, man. Good stuff. And we have to get together on a road game. That'd be dope.
No doubt, man. Are you gonna go to Minnesota? That's the next one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
That could change.
Yes, I mean, they got Minnesota and then Green Bay left. I hope it's not cold. I'm so sick of them playing Green Bay in week 18.
Man.
It's like the second year or 2 out of 3 years, 3 out of 4 years that week 18 has been in Green Bay. It's like, yo, let's
Can you
knock
get
that
a little bit
off.
warmer?
Yeah, like let's go to Green Bay like in September.
Yeah, have Green Bay come here in week 18.
Yeah, man. Dang.
You know, geez. Well, cool, man. I appreciate it, man. We'll talk soon, man. Thank you.
Most definitely appreciate you.
All right. Guys, that's Herb Howard who covers the Bears for the Bigs. Love talking football with my man. And it's man, I'm sad. I'm unfortunately sad he's not coming out, man. That'd have been dope to check out Miss Doubtfire's house together. Walk the Golden Gate Bridge together. But anyway, oh man, great stuff with my man Herb. Yeah, we were glitching. I apologize. It's the hotel internet. Somebody said that. Yeah, it's a little crazy. Mr. Shorty says, curious to see Washington in his first play calling role beside Priest. Yeah, was he going to bring a little more pressure? You know, how's that going to work? I'm interested to see. Samuel giving us his prediction. He said Bears 34-23 with a defensive touchdown. Really? Okay, Samuel. Okay. I see you. Shorty said, I love how Brown said he should have been a defensive player. It shows his aggressive offensive side. Yeah. And it's funny. I feel it because I got to be a defensive coordinator from after being an offensive player for a long time, but I ran angry. I had a lot of anger issues growing up. So I ran angry. So when it's me and a DB, me and a linebacker, God forbid, if the linebacker wasn't 10 times bigger than me, 20, 30 pounds more than me. But if he was just a little bigger than me, maybe 5 or 10 pounds bigger than me, yeah, he was getting that smoke. They're 10, 15, 20 pounds heavier than me, yeah, I'd stiff arm them, try and shake them. But if it's a DB, man, I'd unleash hell on DBs. And I could get low too, so I'm giving you my shoulder and trying to run through you because I was mad at the world. Oh, man. So I get Thomas Brown. And when I got to become a defensive coordinator, there were certain spots in the game, times in the game where I felt and I told my guys, and that I'll never forget, God rest his soul, my middle linebacker, Vaughn, when I was at Curie, and my guy DJ, defensive end, and Jamel, like, hit these boys. Hit them. Like, it's okay if you put your face mask through his chest. It's okay. That's okay. That's part of the game. It's highly encouraged. And and they loved it. They loved it. They got to be physical. And I'll tell you, so many games we won because we out physical people. They had talent too. Let's not get twisted. We were really talented. The team that won the public league championship in 2010, really talented. But man, they were physical. And so I get it, man. And I love Cornelia says the Bears' new attitude should be whatever it takes to win. It's just, yeah, sure did. And it was because I grew up a Peyton fan and saw him and watched him play and bounce off of people and run through people, run over people, run by people, run past people. So, but I feel it. I feel Coach Brown, and there's a way that I feel growing up. I grew up watching the game played a certain way, and I believe the game of football should be played in a certain way. It should be played physically, okay, intense with a lot of intensity, okay, but yet within the rules. Nothing cheap. I've always told my players, I don't care if you knock the quarterback out. If you put your face mask in his chest, you put your face mask in his ribs, you break a rib, you coughing up blood, I don't care. It better be between the whistles and it better be legal. Because if it's not legal, you will not see another down on my defense. As long as it's within the confines of the rules, I told him, go get it. And I feel that with Thomas Brown. I feel that, and I feel that the men feel the same way. Hopefully we see a lot more violent. You talked about a more violent defense. All right, I know the NFL has really done a number on trying to curtail the concussions and all this stuff, but that's that's occupational hazard. Occupational hazard. All right, go play basketball, go play baseball, go play soccer, go play another sport that doesn't have these types of issues. Okay, no one forced you to do that. So good. I'm really excited to see how these guys come out on Sunday. It's going to be fun to see. It's going to be fun to watch, and I hope. I think it's the first of 5 great weeks of auditioning for Thomas Brown. Again, don't stop the auditioning process or the interviews because you think you got him. Go through the whole process. You know what? Do everything necessary. All right. Remember when I talked to you about respecting your opponent? All right. By that I meant you go through the week of practice like you're playing the number 1 team in the NFL, even though they're playing the worst team in the NFL. Give them the respect that they deserve. Okay. The Bears front office needs to do the same. They need to respect this head coach position. And by that, I mean, they need to look at all viable candidates for this position. Will this guy make us better? Will this guy make us better? Okay. And then when you have all those things, okay, then you make the decision. All right. Don't just because Thomas Brown had a couple of good games, don't say he's our head coach. Herb's right. All right. Don't just say, oh, they had a couple good head coaches, a couple good games. Yeah, he's our head coach. No. All right, we want to do our due diligence and look. And he might not be ready. Who knows? He might not be. Mr. Shorty says, this is my only hope, Shawn. Brown will break the curse of incompetence by not being handpicked by George, Kevin, and Ryan. Eberflus hired him. This may break the cycle. Well, Shorty, I like a lot about him. I liked his demeanor and the way he acts. And everyone wants to refer to Mike Tomlin. I get it. I see the comparisons. Okay, but that would be great. That would be great because how phenomenal would it be? We haven't had a guy. Lovey's been here the longest, 6 years, 7 years, or is it Wanstead? Wanstead was 6. But how long? When was the last time we had a coach that was here for 10 years? Win. Like that's the type of stability that I want. Samuel says, my goal was always to knock the snot out of noses and farts out of asses each game. Yeah, I hear you, bro. That was it. But when was the last time that we had a coach that was here for 10 years? Ditka? Ditka wasn't even here 10 years. Don't tell me we had to go all the way back to Papa Bear. I mean, that's the kind of stability that I want. That's the kind of stability that we as an organization need. Give me a coach who's here 9 or 10 years. No, 10 years. Bump 9. 10 years. Minimum. All right? Because that means we're in the playoffs constantly. We're in a couple of NFC championship games, one and possibly a Super Bowl or 2. If we get a coach here who's here for 10 years. And can Thomas Brown be the guy? I hope so. I don't know, but I hope so. Chris says, Caleb, 18 sacks in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter games within 7 points. Caleb has taken 8 sacks and 0 touchdowns. His fourth quarter touchdowns all came down 2 scores playing catch up versus prevent 4-9. Troy says, wow, that was a question that just made me sad. Yeah, we have. When was the last time we had a guy here for 10 years? Junior says, I love it when I gave defensive tackles a headache and pissed them off, but they forgot about the quarterback and running back and just wanted to fight it out with me. Yeah. But this is the kind of stability I want. And maybe Thomas can be that guy. I hope so. I hope he gets entrenched in here. And I want this Mother Hubbard to have a fucking restaurant named after him. All right. I want this town to fall in love with this guy because he brought our Bears back, because he championed our Bears back to a Super Bowl championship. This is what I want. This, and I hope he can do it. And if not him, then the next person. We're tired. How many times? 3 or 4 years, next coach. 3 or 4 years, next coach. And not only that, but then you have offense. You have more than one coordinator for each head coach. Like, come on, man. You want Caleb to be great? Chris Foster says, if Brown goes 5-0, I still want Ben Johnson over him. Well, I'll tell you this. That's cool. That's your opinion. I respect it. Here's my thing. I don't know if I want him because this will be Ben Johnson's first time as a head coach. Next year, Thomas Brown won't be his first time as a head coach. He will have had a five-game stint as a head coach. He will have a 5-game head start. All right. And if Caleb progresses, how can you argue with it? How can you argue with it? I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Ben Johnson can still be a good head coach. But if because we don't know if he can handle all those things. When you get a new head coach, think of all the things that Flus screwed up. And I stood by Flus for a while. Remember, I was like, he's a rookie head coach. He's going, he's learning a lot of stuff on the fly. Okay, but at one point it became too much, too little, too late. Samuel has a good point. Ben has never coached without the best offensive line in the NFL. That's huge. Chris said they thought so little of him. It took 4 promotions in 1 year from being fired. Not that he earned it. It's not that they thought so little of it. Okay, it's not that they thought so little of it. Shane Waldron had a lot of hype around him because coming out of Seattle, all right, his work with Russ, his work with Gino. Little did we know that the reason that he was able to succeed so well is he had Pete Carroll behind him, and that's who people were really, really afraid of was Pete Carroll. You screw with him, you mess around with Shane Waldron, Pete's ready to put foot in ass. Chris says, Ben or Harbaugh were the only 2 choices last year. One is gone. Yes. So I don't know. In what if Thomas Brown is the next hot coordinator? I don't know. Just like Ben Johnson and Bobby Slowick were the hot coordinators last year. I'll tell you what. If Caleb gets to 4,000 yards, he's got to average 277 yards a game in these last 5 to get 4,000 yards. If he gets 4,000 yards, and we win. If the process looks good, and we should be able to win. All right, we just came 1 score against every team in our division. We got 3 more of those games. San Fran, this team is hurt. In Seattle playing good football. So you go 4-1, 5-0, and Caleb hits 4,000 yards. It means we're winning. He's passing. Receivers are scoring touchdowns, getting all kinds of yards. It'll be tough to go away from that. Agreed. Good OC doesn't equal a good head coach, and that's the thing because there's so much more on your plate. Shorty, I will never get over them not hiring Harbaugh. I hate Kevin Warren for that now. Is Ben already 0-3 as an OC? Don't forget Nagy was a hot OC too. Yes, he was, and I didn't like him because he didn't call a lot of games. He called like 5 games. Right after Andy Reid had set the culture, he called 5 games. So, I don't know. But anyway, it's going to be a great game. I think the Bears are going to win. I think they have a chance. I think they have a great chance to win. I predict them to win 24-20. Bosa doesn't look like he's playing. There's a lot of things in the Bears' favor. They're only 3.5 point dogs. It's going to be Chris says, I like what Ben has done for 3 years as OC over Detroit over what Brown has done in 3 weeks at OC. But yeah, he's had more time. I feel you. I feel you. And it's been consistent. And Detroit has gotten better each year. That sucks. Remember, we used to, me specifically, would say, Detroit's going to Detroit themselves. Remember DeAndre Swift when he dropped the pass in the end zone would have beat us? Detroit's going to Detroit themselves. They always did shit to screw it up for themselves. With Ben Johnson, well, first of all, the head coach, but also Ben Johnson, they don't do that shit anymore. They don't shoot themselves in the foot offensively. They don't. How much of that is Ben Johnson? How much of that? So let's look at that. How much of that is their head coach? Just like Shane Waldron in Seattle, Pete Carroll was the guy behind it. Is it going to be the same situation where the head coach behind Dan Campbell was behind Ben Johnson? I don't know. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's not. I don't know. But either way, we're going to find out how well in the next couple of weeks. We're going to find out how well Thomas Brown does, how much Caleb progresses. We're going to see. I'm fired up about it. Guys, listen, 2 hours have come and gone. I want to thank my guest, Jason Palmer, for coming on talking Blackhawks and a lot of Chicago sports in general with the firings of a lot of the coaches, except the Bulls coach. And I want to thank my man, Herb Howard, from the Bigs for coming on and talking Bears with your boy as I'm out here in San Francisco. And, man, I'm excited. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in as you do, all right, every week. I love it. I love the support. I love you guys. I appreciate the love and support you guys give me. And believe me, I do not take it for granted. I'm grateful. All right. So listen, do me a favor. Enjoy the weekend. I know it's cold back home. In the 20s. I won't get back until Monday, so it's going to be in the 40s. But enjoy it, all right? Make sure you let your loved ones know you love them. Black Diamond checking in. What's up, Popeye? Says, I'll say this. Ben has 2 pass happy. You know? Make sure you let your loved ones know you love them, all right? I tell you all the time, tomorrow's promise to no one. Remember that, all right? And believe me, I was reminded of that on the flight from Phoenix here when the gentleman 2 rows in front of me had a God-blessed seizure, all right? He was very fortunate, and I was very fortunate. We were very fortunate. We didn't get to see somebody pass away, all right? It can happen just like that. So do your best. Let people know the holidays are coming. Christmas is coming. All right, but you don't have to wait till Christmas. So why would you wait till certain things? Why not just do it? All right, wait. Don't say, I'll do it at Christmas. I'll do it here. No, how about you call them today? Why don't you call them tomorrow? Set up a date. Set up a time for you guys to meet. Go grab lunch. Go grab dinner. Go grab a drink, couple drinks. All right, people that you care about, let them know you care about them. Okay. And before I go, I want to say hi to. I want to say happy birthday to my guy Keith Thurlow, my guy aka Weddle. It's his birthday today. I just want to say happy birthday, Weddle. I'll come visit you soon. See you and the kids. All right. Happy birthday, big dog. I appreciate you. I love you. All right, man. From everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I'm gonna have a good time here in San Francisco. I'll share some pictures with you on Monday. But your boy is out.